Hi everybody, welcome to Scotch Kitchen. Sunday dinner is here now. Let's get on to it. So we have some steak lamb here that we're going to do some roasting on it in a bit. Then we have some lamb sausages, so it has lamb and it has mint in it and some garlic, and we're going to make that as well. Then we have our salad here. So we have parsnips and carrots. I've already chopped those ones, diced them. We have some rocket leaves here. That's what we're gonna use for our salad. So we have some olives as well. And there you go. So we have a mixture. We have a mixture of black and green olives and a bit of mozzarella. That's what we're going to use as well. I have a quarter cucumber. We're going to use that. 1 tomato, 1 red chili. We have 2 spring onions, and we have some leaves of lettuce, and we have some lime and lemon, where we're going to use for the meat and also for the salad. And then we have roasted cashew nuts. So that's what we're going to use for our salad as well. For our potatoes, which I've already boiled in very low heat for 15 minutes. There you go. We're going to use goose fat, and we are also going to use butter on. Okay, so that said, let's get on to it. We'll start with the potato. The salad is going to be the last thing on today. So we'll start sorting out the potatoes for the potatoes to go in the oven and the sausages to go in the oven. Then after that, we're going to go and start doing the meat. Salad, I say, is going to be last. So I'm going to move these things for salad on the side, on the other side of the kitchen, so that we can have enough space and I can move you closer. Just bear with me. Put these ones there, you're able to move much closer, which is great. Sorry. Okay, just move you closer and just adjust the camera a little, and I think that's much better. Okay, so this is just a mesh that I'm going to use to put our potatoes, and then I am going to just gonna lift that up a little bit. That's much better. So this is just a mesh that I normally put. I'm going to use to put the sausages on top, and they're going to be on top of the tray, the oven tray that I'm going to use for the the tray I'm going to use for the potatoes. So that said, I'm just gonna put it aside for a second. Then what we need to do is start sorting out our roast potatoes. So I'm gonna turn. Remember, our baking tray is still empty. Gonna turn our oven on, our hob on. Remember, your oven should be on at 200 degrees at this time. So you want your hob on, and you'll put your tray on there. So let the tray be really hot. We're going to put some butter on there. So we need about a tablespoon of butter, and that's this tablespoon I'm going to use. And we're going to go straight ahead and put a tablespoon of butter. I am really generous on this because that's exactly what you want. And I'm just gonna sprinkle that all over the baking tray, sorry. Just putting the door open so that my my smoke alarm doesn't go on. Okay, so our butter is melting there, which is exactly what we want. Then I am going to go straight, turn the heat down, and I'm going to get my potatoes. I'm going to sprinkle them onto the tray. I'll bring it closer for you to be able to see. So there are our potatoes. And just give it a little bit of a shake so that the butter can actually spread on each and every potatoes. If you don't wish to give it a shake, you can just go ahead and mix them a little bit. Then I'm going to return this back on the hob because I'm going to add my goose fat now. And I'm going to add, the main reason I'm adding my goose fat now is because I want them to really be brown, but also fluffy as well. The butter also just helps with that. Okay, let's turn on our hob back again. Put back our potatoes and butter. Remember, we only have our potatoes and butter here. It's not going to be really perfectly down. And that's the fat I'm using today. I'm using my pure goose fat. And I'm going to go 2 tablespoons of that. So I'm going to go first, and I'm going to go the second one, which I didn't. I just put halfway. There we go. Then I want to mix this up thoroughly with all the potatoes so that all the potatoes can actually have a bit of the fat. Give it a proper mix. I'm just going to wash one of my potatoes and bring it back in. Okay, there you go. Okay, let's go on and give it a proper mix. Now let's turn off our hob. We don't need that anymore. Okay, so that is great. All the fat is on the potatoes because that's exactly what we want, because all the fat is now melted nicely on the potatoes. I am going to just raise, I don't know why the potatoes are falling off. Come on back here. Give you a bit of a wash. There you are, back on with the rest. Okay, so here you can see we have all our top potatoes really shiny because they have a bit of butter and they have goose fat. Okay, I'm going to now add just the table salt. I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of that on our potatoes. And give it another mix again, just a shake, just a quick shake. And because the fat, as you can see, it's really sprinkling, you can just go ahead and just give it a gentle mix because you don't want any disasters. Okay, so I'm gonna spread my potatoes because I want all of them to be cooked. And because I have about 2 shelves in my oven, I'm going to put this in the lower shelf because my sausages are going to go above these ones. So my oven was already preheated at 200 degrees. So that's what you need to do as well. Then I am going to go straight and put in my I have my sausages here. They're lamb sausages. So today we are having some roasted lamb, and we are having lamb sausages as well. So I'm going to just line the sausages onto this mesh. I need a flat place, just bear with me, and I'm going to raise it up for you to be able to see. Okay, so this is what we have so far. There are my sausages. They're all going to go above the roast potatoes. Spreading them nicely. So potatoes and sausages are cooking now, which is really great. Don't need my goose fat anymore. I'm going to move it out. So I'm going to move you a little bit closer for you to be able to see what I'm going to do with our lamb steak. So we have some lamb steak here. So we have a few pieces, be able to see. So we have a few pieces of lamb steak, and the only seasoning I'm going to use today is some lime and salt. That's the only seasoning I'm using for our lamb today, and I'm going to use olive oil to actually, when I'm putting it onto, I'm using the hob, so I'm putting it directly onto the hob, and that's the only thing I'm going to use, those 2 ingredients. So if you just bear with me for a second, I'm just getting one of my mats, and I'm going to move you back a little bit for you to be able to see what I'm doing. Okay, I've given my my lump steak, I've given them some wash, so you need to do that as well. And I'm going to lay them. Let me give my hand a quick wash. Okay. I'm going to try and flatten them a little bit, but not too much, and I'm just using one of my rolling pin. Give them a little bit of a beating. That's what I call it. This helps the meat to actually flatten a little bit because it's really thick. Giving the meat a beating, Tyler. Okay, that's enough. So my next step I'm going to get a little bit of salt. There you go, that's much better. So I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of salt on onto the meat. Okay, and I'm going to go straight with my lemon. I'm going to do that on the other side as well. So
seeds.
Yeah, we're going to remove all those seeds. You don't want the seeds, isn't it, when you're cooking it?
What's that, Mum?
This is lime. That's lemon, and this is lime. So you also want some lime on, some lime juice on your...
It's a bit like lemon, but a different name.
Yes, it's on a bit like lemon. It's a little bit bitter.
Yeah, but with the same starting words.
Yeah, they all start with la. So give a rub on each of your steak. So we are rubbing in through the lemon and the lime juice and also the salt. And we're going to turn this around and do exactly the same. We have, I'm going to use the lime again. You want to see people? Can they see you? Yeah.
Tony kicked me when I was just walking.
Tell him not to kick you, please. Okay, so give it another rub. I'm gonna sprinkle a little bit of salt again on this one. Just bear with me. Quick one. Okay, and that's enough. So that's it. That we're not doing anything else. That's enough for our preparation. I'm gonna move that closer, and I'm going to move you closer as well, so that we can start preparing our lump. Okay, so if I move you a little bit closer, that's too close. I think that's much better. I hope you'll be able to see from that distance. So I need a pan, so it's just an empty pan. And I am going to add a little bit of olive oil, which I'm going to do in a second. Okay, so this is the time when you ask the people that you're making your dinner for how they like their lamb. If they like their lamb steak, well done, medium rare, this is the time you need to ask them. Then we're going to go ahead and start cooking each one of them onto the pan, and then I'm going to be putting each one of them, after I'm done, on some foil paper, and I'm going to put them in the oven. And the main reason why I'm putting it in the oven, not for them to be like really soft after, but when it is time to eat them, they're going to still be warm. That's why I'm going to put them in the oven for a few minutes, and you're just going to see me doing that. Okay, I'm bringing in my foil paper because I'm going to need it in a few minutes. I need myself a plate. And I need some of this because that's what I'm going to be using. Okay, so that's definitely really nice and hot, and this is what I'm going to use, some olive oil. Going to sprinkle some olive oil on there, just a little. You need maybe half a teaspoon of olive oil, and that's all we need on the pan. If you have a non-stick pan, that's even better. So this is like a teaspoon that I'm using for the olive oil. So I just want that to actually be really hot. Then I'm going to start putting on my steak. Okay, let's start with the farthest one. Just making sure I don't have any seeds on. I'm able to put two at the same time here, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put the next one. So I'm going to let that cook for a few minutes. 2 to 3 minutes on one side, and then I'm going to turn it again, and then I'm going to keep on turning it. We like our meat here well done. That's why I'm going to cook it a little bit longer than the person. For example, if you like it medium rare, you need less than 5 minutes on both sides. So you need about 2.5 minutes one side, and then turn it again on the other side, 2.5 minutes, and you're good to go. But because I like mine well done, I'm going to go longer than that. You need to press it down as it cooks. Remember, your heat is very high at this time, which is okay. I'm just opening the door because I'm not turning in. I'm not turning on the fan, and we don't want the smoke alarm to go on. Okay, so I am going to turn that around. I'm just pressing it down to make sure everything cooks well. I'm going to move closer for you to be able to see in a bit how it looks like. So just bear with me. Okay, so this is how it looks like. So if you like it medium rare, this is ready to go. You can go ahead and have it like that. That's for the people who love it medium rare. Because I like mine well done, so I am going to cook it for a little bit longer than this. Just turning it again. Another thing you can add on to your meat when you're cooking like this, you can slice some onion red onion is really, really good. So you can slice some red onion and they can go on the side of this. I'll just show you. Okay, so I have some red onion here with me. I was just cutting it into pieces. So that's just one red onion. And what I'm going to go along and do is cut a few slices. And when I'm going to be covering the meat with my foil paper, they're going to go inside the foil paper as well. So that's enough for this. I need to turn them again. And actually the onion just gives it a little bit of taste and flavor. So it's definitely good to have some onion as well with it. I am going to bring it closer in a second for you to be able to see what we have so far. So here we go. The red onions are right there in the middle, as you can see them. And then we have both of our steak there. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to sprinkle that oil that has just come out of the steak and the red onion when I'm going to be wrapping them around for them to go inside the oven for a few minutes by the time I do all this, because we still want every steak to really be nice and nice and warm when it's time to actually eat it. Okay, so these should be done now. So let's go ahead and prepare our foil. So I am just going to remove it out of the box. And I am going to just turn that along. And I'm going to put it on a plate, because I want to put everything on this plate before I cover it, and then it goes straight in the oven. So I'm just putting my onions on top there. And if you realize, a little bit of oil is definitely going in there as well. I'm going to lift that up for you in a second for you to be able to see each and every thing, because we are about to just make sure, by the way, what I'm trying to do, I'm making sure there are no particle or nothing else is on the pan before I put the next set of beef again. I'm not going to add any oil because we still have some oil there. So I'm going to go ahead and put the next one. Okay, when that is cooking, so this is what we have. I hope you're able to see. Woo! And now I am just going to wrap it around, and that's what I'm doing. I'm just wrapping everything. So I'm making sure all the juices are actually wrapped nicely inside there. making sure nothing seeps off. And this is going straight in the oven, waiting for everything to be ready to go. I'm just turning my my sausages. Okay, back to our meat. Let's give it a turn. Remember, we only so far used 1 teaspoon of olive oil so far, and that's what we are still cooking with, because most of this lamb is fatty anyway on the side, and that actually is good because it helps it it helps it stays juicy, not goes really dry. So that's really helps. The olive oil is only just to help with the actual cooking itself. You can cook it directly with the fat that it's there on, but it's going to become really dry. So that's why I am not I use a little bit of oil just to coat the pan basically. So far this is what we have up to the first turn, as you can see. Again, medium rare. This should be okay. Again on the other side, 2 to 3 minutes, and it is done, ready to go. I'm just putting it straight up because this other one, the piece is really thick. So I'm just putting it so that it can cook on the side as well, not only on one side. So that's doing actually really well, as you can see there. This doesn't really normally take a long time because it just depends how many people you are actually making it for. Just remember, I am making 2 pieces at a time because everybody has the same texture, the same way. Everybody's having well done. Just remember, if you're preparing for different people, definitely some of them will want it rare, some of them medium rare, and some of them will want it well done. Don't do a mistake of putting 2 different types of pieces for 2 different people. Let's imagine one person wants it medium rare and then the other person wants it well done. Don't do the mistake of putting the 2 together. Just do one at a time Yes, it takes long, but that's not an issue. One at a time, so that you can get each and every steak perfectly the way somebody's requested for. Because we find some people are really fussy. Let's imagine if you like your meat medium rare, and they bring it to you when it is well done, or even though it is medium rare, it's not exactly the way you wanted. Definitely you're not going to be happy about it. So if you go around and ask people how they want their steak, make sure you do it as they have requested, not as you imagining yourself you love it to be. So I'm going to go along and do my onions again on this one. You can definitely slice your onion on the side. You don't have to do it at the top exactly the way I'm doing it. I am doing it at the top because I'm used to doing it. So that's why it's much easier. I won't lie to you. The oil is definitely sprinkling out. So if you're doing the onions above there, you have to be very careful or you're going to have a little bit of oil burn. So as I said earlier, I'm used to it. That's why I'm doing it that way. Yes, I do recommend you do it that, but be very careful when you're doing that, because you don't want to get burnt or you don't want to burn yourself. Okay, this is soon ready. Just need about a minute or so for my onions to be done. That's perfect. Yep. This is definitely perfectly done, as you can see. As you can see, it's perfect done. The onions there are also ready. So we're going to go ahead and leave it there for a second while I get my foil paper again. And straight on with my beef onto my plate. Make sure it is flat. The next one as well. And then we'll go with our onion. Going to make sure each and every piece of onion is definitely in there. And I'm just sprinkling a little bit of that nice juicy oil that came from the beef and our olive oil as well. I am just making sure it goes back with the meat, because remember we are putting this in the oven and we don't want it to actually be dry. My pan is back there. And I am going to put the next one, and then I'll bring close the meat so you can be able to see. Okay, this time I've gone wild and I've just gone with my 3 pieces that were left in there. So, here we go. That's our steak, and the juicy at the bottom is the bit of oil that you saw me just sprinkling on it. And I'm just going to move this mat and this back here. And I'm going to just wrap it around nicely. And it goes in the oven as well, just like the first one. Most of the time, you don't really have to put it in the oven. You can put it on the side, so you wrap it with the foil paper, put it on the side for maybe 20 to 15 minutes and let it settle a bit, and then you can serve it like that. Some people just prefer their meat directly from the hob onto the plate and there they go. Some people just like it to rest for a few minutes before they actually have it. So it's up to you the way you want to have it. Mine is going in the oven because I really like mine really nice and warm. Okay, so we are on our last two lovely pieces. Just gonna give it a few more minutes before I actually turn them.